Chapter 5, 175, Entering True Yang Building Again. Fang Yuan entered the central control room once again. As the name implied, the central control room was the important control center of 88 True Yang Building. The secret room was round, and its walls were flickering with starlight, with a white jade round table at the center. There was an exquisite model of the whole imperial court blessed land on the round table, just like a military sand table. Not only did it depict mountains and rivers and the sacred palace at the center, even the small towers in the blessed land were clearly visible. I have returned once again. In Fang Yuan's mind, Mo Yao's will sighed with deep emotions. Fang Yuan ignored her and looked towards the white jade round table. He had first used the guest token to enter 88 True Yang Building, then passed with high-grade evaluation, which allowed him to enter the treasure room. He then refined the guest hall steely and found the glass owner token. Using it, he then entered the central control room. But because of Dichu inheritance, he chose to momentarily halt his plans for 88 True Yang Building, eventually refining Calamity beckoning Gu. All in all, Dichu inheritance provided both benefits and harm to Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan was able to obtain an immortal Gu, but its ability was quite unique in that it harmed oneself to benefit others. And then there was Mo Yao's will, which had sneaked into his mind. Fang Yuan could not get rid of it, and as such, the internal pressure on him was huge. But undeniably, the pointers given by Mo Yao's will reaped him much gains, not mentioning the insights regarding refinement path. Just the 6-arm Heavenly Zombie King and Ink Transformation Killer moves, along with the improved Earth Chief Zombie Gu recipe, were extremely valuable. Besides these, there was also an enormous benefit. Mo Yao's will would be of huge help to Fang Yuan's plans in 88 True Yang Building. After all, Mo Yao was a refinement path grandmaster who had researched 88 True Yang Building in depth. She was a legendary character who, back then, had infiltrated into imperial court blessed land and created a loophole where she set up Dichu inheritance. Fang Yuan had his previous life's memories along with the video of the central continent Gu immortals attacking 88 True Yang Building. He also had first-hand information from Langye Land Spirit, and now a great assistant was with him in the form of Mo Yao's will. As such, he was fully confident in this trip. But shortly after, his gaze paused as he let out a surprise gasp. He clearly remembered that the sand table on the round table had been covered with a layer of sticky black liquid, and the black liquid had formed into a whirlpool, which then slowly entered towards a hole in the sand table. This hole was none other than the location of Dichu inheritance. But now there was no trace of the black liquid on the sand table, and the location of the Dichu inheritance was also completely restored in the sand table, with no trace of any hole. This sight was like a heavy punch to Fang Yuan's confidence. His mind was jolted, and as he was about to make guesses, Mo Yao's will chuckled, already knowing his intent. If there are gains, there will be losses as well. Little brother, you have already taken Dichu inheritance, and with 88 True Yang Building's might, it was bound to have fixed that flaw. The cave in Dichu inheritance exists no longer, and a small tower should have been reinstated there. Without the loophole, how can I refine the glass owner token into one-edge owner token? Fang Yuan asked for advice. If there is no loophole, then just create a new one. Mo Yao proudly smiled. Why did I impart you the refinement path killer move Ink Transformation? You should have already guessed it. The black liquid covering the sand table you saw back then was caused by Ink Transformation killer move. If there is no loophole, make a new one? Mo Yao's words revealed the bearings of a refinement path grandmaster, causing Fang Yuan to raise his brows. Although it sounded easy from her words, how should he create the loophole? At least, Fang Yuan, who was a refinement path master, did not have such ability. Mo Yao continued, the loophole cannot be casually created. Carelessly doing it will only awaken the slumbering giant sun's will. If his will awakens, then we will face a tragic end. Fortunately, 88 True Yang Building has gone through many changes. It is already no longer as perfect as before. Time has created all kinds of blemishes in it. Back then, I chose the DU location because the blemish in it was the largest. So it was like that. Fang Yuan nodded, inwardly happy. Mo Yao's will was like a water without a source. If they wanted to look for the blemishes and the loopholes, it would require large amounts of thinking, and this would cause her will to be greatly exhausted. But Mo Yao did not satisfy Fang Yuan's intention and instead said, "Little brother, use your mind to explore the sand table according to my instructions. I will tell you the secrets of the workings of 88 True Yang building and help you find the blemishes." Okay, Fang Yuan's gaze flashed. This action of Mo Yao was not out of his expectation. She cherished her existence, but it was okay that she was not thinking. Fang Yuan could use this chance to learn from her and increase his understanding of 88 True Yang building. The marvels of 88 True Yang building were extraordinary. As Fang Yuan entered the sand table with his mind, he felt like he was a small boat on an ocean, only sensing its limitless and unfathomable vastness. Every corner inside of it was a lesson to be learned and pondered upon. He instantly felt that he was a minute existence and gasped in amazement. According to Mo Yao's directions, Fang Yuan found a total of 54 blemishes, and 13 blemishes among them were relatively larger, forming into flaws that were comparable to the Dichu location before. This result made Mo Yao sigh. So many years have gone by, and even 88 True Yang building cannot escape the damage from the river of time. Thinking of back then, I could only find 38 blemishes, with only 6 that had formed into flaws. Pausing for a moment, she then continued to give directions to Fang Yuan. "Little brother, now you can use the killer move, ink transformation, to refine these several flaws." Fang Yuan followed her words, and with frequent shifting of his mind, over 800 goo flew out of his aperture. There were goo worms from rank 1 to rank 5 of metal, wood, water, earth, rule, soul, blood, and other paths. Among these, dark path was of primary importance. Although they were all mortal goo, but for 10 or so goo worms among them, some were already extinct during medieval antiquity era, and some even went as far back as remote antiquity era. Thus they were extremely rare and were completely extinct from the 5 regions, with only some goo immortals having them in their collections. Fang Yuan had to spend a considerable amount for these goo worms, spending at least 1.5 immortal essence stones. Immortal essence stones were extremely valuable and could directly replenish a goo immortal's immortal essence and help them cultivate. At the same time, they were also a currency used by goo immortals. Even during Fang Yuan's peak period in his previous life, he had only been able to collect just over 60 immortal essence stones. In this life, he gained profits from risk, and since obtaining Hu Immortal Blessed Land, his highest amount of savings was 12 immortal essence stones. Now he only had 2 immortal essence stones left. There was nothing he could do about it. Too many fields required the use of immortal essence stones. Purchasing wolf groups, gathering the intel on Wisdom Path, purchasing goo worms and so on, all required immortal essence stones. Close to 1,000 goo worms fluttered about in the air like a light drizzle. Fang Yuan put all his concentration in commanding and arranging these goo worms, and when the time was ripe, he shouted softly, "Ink transformation." The goo worms turned into a dark cloud, and rain started falling down from the cloud and made pitter-patter sounds as they hit the sand table, turning into drops of inky liquid. The ink drops started to add up slowly and covered the whole sand table. Fang Yuan's concentration was gathered towards a specific flaw, urging the inky liquid to flow towards the flaw. The primeval essence of a rank 5 peak stage aperture rapidly decreased, and the inky liquid was also exhausted by over half before it was able to break through a layer of indistinct obstruction and formed into a whirlpool, slowly pouring into the hole in the sand table. At this scene, Mo Yao spoke, "Throw in your glass owner token." Fang Yuan did as told and threw in the glass owner token. The glass owner token sank into the inky whirlpool with no trace to be seen. The inky liquid also started being consumed even more rapidly. After about an hour, the dark cloud was the first to dissipate. After 4 hours, the inky liquid disappeared completely, and a completely new owner token slowly flew out of the hole. Fang Yuan grabbed this owner token that had already changed its appearance. On the edge of the previous surface, a sharp protrusion appeared like a horn. One edge owner token, sure enough, fits its name, Fang Yuan mumbled. In 88 True Yang Building, after a descendant of Giant Sun Immortal Venerable passes a floor, the owner token will advance into one edge owner token and be able to grasp control of a floor. At the same time, the descendant can enter the treasure room and take a treasure within, without the need to exchange. If the descendant can pass through 10 floors, the owner token will become a 10 edges owner token, which allows the descendant to retrieve a Giant Sun inheritance from the treasure room, Mo Yao introduced. Giant Sun inheritance? Fang Yuan's heart thumped in excitement. Mo Yao continued. Right, Giant Sun Immortal Venerable made arrangements for his descendants, arranged the rules of the Imperial Court contest, set up 88 True Yang Building, and left behind 88 inheritances in it. An Immortal Venerable's inheritance is naturally not a small thing, but in history, the Imperial Court winners who were able to pass 10 floors were extremely few. When I was alive, there were still 53 inheritances left out of 88. I am not sure how many remain now. Hey, speaking of this, even I am envious of your luck. There are altogether 13 flaws we found. Every flaw after the ink transformation can advance the owner token by one edge. If you can use them all, you will obtain a 13 edges owner token and can totally take a Giant Sun inheritance. Sigh, it is not like back then, when there only were 6 flaws. When Fang Yuan heard this, his fiery heart felt like it was doused with a basin of cold water. He bitterly laughed. Using all the flaws? I won't conceal it from you. I only have 2 immortal essence stones now. I can only support one more ink transformation killer move. Oh, it was like that? Mo Yao's gaze flashed. While Fang Yuan was probing her, she was also probing Fang Yuan. Immortal essence stones were one of the important standards of evaluating Gu immortals. Fang Yuan might still be immortal, but with Hu immortal blessed land, he was already treated as half an immortal in Mo Yao's heart. So this kid only has 2 immortal essence stones? Are his words true or a lie? It should be the truth. The temptations of Giant Sun's inheritance is not something normal people can resist. He is a refinement path master. He naturally knows the more flaws he refines, and the higher grade his owner token is, the more convenient it will be for his plans towards 88 True Yang Building. The most crucial point is I am hiding in his mind. It will be impossible for him to hide from me and secretly refine them. Now, he would ask for help from the forces behind him. This brat conceals too deeply. He will have to reveal his background at that time, and I will be able to know a thing or two. While thinking this, Mo Yao had a pleasant and benign expression as she gave an idea to Fang Yin. There is no need to hurry. Owner tokens can mutually annex each other. As long as you annex the current alliance leader, He Lu Lan's owner token, who is to say you might not be able to gather 10 edges? She indeed lived up to the name Mo Yao, knowing so many behind-the-scenes details. Fang Yuan's gaze turned sharp, and he intentionally said in a higher voice, You want to make me go against He Lu Lan? Are you thinking of pushing me to my death? Although He Lu Lan is easy to deal with, the He tribe behind him is a super-level force with many Gu immortals looking after him. Hey, you are an audacious lad. You can disguise your identity to infiltrate Imperial Court, and yet you are afraid of mere He Lu Lan? Moreover, I did not say you have to kill him. You only need to take the owner token from his hands, that's all. Fang Yuan's gaze changed. He Lu Lan cannot be killed. Killing him is like poking a hornet's nest. He tribe is not something I currently can provoke. But that owner token, he definitely treasures it as dearly as his life. Tell me, what should I do? Can't provoke currently. Isn't he saying it might be a different case in the future? This kid's ambition is truly big. Mo Yao acutely sensed the keyword in Fang Yuan's speech. As for the problem Fang Yuan mentioned, she did not want to think too much. So she spread out her hands in Fang Yuan's mind. How you take the owner token from him is your problem.